This is a cluster. We are live on Faith-Led Healing YouTube. We are also live on Faith-Led Living YouTube, and I am live on Zoom, which appears to be frozen. Nope, Miss Shelley is in the house. All right, and I'm just going to ask you all that are present to get in the chat and share with me how I can be praying for you, your praises, your prayer requests. And today we are going to talk about faith, not fear. Our world is a really crazy place right now. We've got the election upcoming, if we get that far. We've got, imminent wars. We've got inflation. We've got a lot of things going on. And then we also have our, just regular life happenings. And it can be a lot for some people. So I wanted to talk about it today. Miss Shelley says, here, we'll add video when done helping client. No worries. I'm really glad you're here. So I will be on YouTube for the next 30 minutes on both of the channels. What I do every Wednesday is I get on live and I'm on YouTube for a half an hour, and then I break away from YouTube and I'm on my community Zoom, which is a special access area so that people have access directly to me. They can communicate with me, and we go deeper on the subject that we're talking about, because a lot of times YouTube is filtering and removing videos. Our videos continue to be removed. So this way we can go deeper and also get to know one another. On YouTube, you just see me. I get to see you in the chat, and I get to know you in the chat, but it's nice to go face to face. It's also nice to be amongst like-minded people, a community where you feel like you belong, where you feel like you fit in, where you feel like maybe you're part of something bigger than the mess we live in, and that's the important thing. So, good morning, Miss Laura. There she is. She was spinning in. So for those of you on YouTube, I would like to invite you to join my community. It's open to everybody. There is a free community. There's also the paid community that is able to go face-to-face with me weekly. You can find the information regardless where you are. Good morning, Miss Tammy. She's on Faith-Led Living. So at Faith-Led Living, you can go to faithledliving.com/community. faithledhealing.com/community, and you will be brought into a very amazing group of people. I have to say, I'm just so in awe at the quality of people that are joining us, in just that we're all very like-minded. It's a place where, it just gives me great pleasure and just really touches me to see the connections that are being made. Good morning, Miss Laura. She's out and about doing her walk, I believe, this morning, so very awesome. So share with me today, your struggles living the day-to-day life right now. Are you able to look past the things that are happening in our world, or is it debilitating you in ways? Is it causing you anxiety and stress? And if it's not, I want to say kudos to you, because that is the space I live out of. That does not mean that we are living life through pink shady glasses and we have no clue what's going on in the world. That means that we know what's going on in the world. We can't control a blessed thing that's happening, but we are able to keep ourselves in a good place to enable us to live a good life despite what's happening around us. And, when we get to that place, sometimes we can even do that in our own four walls. When, someone's having a bad day, we are not defined by other people's dysfunction. We are not defined by other people's inability to see our worth. And so often in those arenas, we allow the world's dysfunction and other people's dysfunction to cause our own dysfunction. And in my community, I am trying to teach people how to separate from that, because, we can live a good life regardless what's going on. My family and I have proved that over and over again with the things that we've walked through. We were in a great financial quandary 9 years ago through my healing journey. We had to sell our first homestead. we could have been in a place of devastation, rocking in a corner, totally, just scared to death. But we were focusing on the good things we had, the the the, the fact that I was alive for starters, and the gratitude, and just kept moving forward, knowing that life is going to change, but it doesn't mean it has to change for the worse. Our minds play such a big role in how we live life and how we walk things out. So Miss Shelley says, enjoy the sun. It is raining here. Yeah, we have rain here as well. It might even thunderstorm while I'm out here. There's some construction going on inside, so I escaped to this beautiful spot. Those of you, I think Zoom can see it too. There's a beautiful lake behind me here, so I'm in a good setting. Feeling like a sneeze is coming. Well, bless you. Maybe then it will stop. So, if you are in an anxious place because of all that's going on in our world, I want you to teach you how to focus on the good in your life. We're all alive today. We all woke up. We're all still breathing. We are all able to move. Some of us, I woke up with swollen eyes. I'll be the first to tell you. I'm combating toxicity right now because I'm not on my homestead today, and I'm out in the world with EMFs and toxicity, so my body doesn't always like that. So I woke up with swollen eyes. Did it stop me? No. I get moving. I get my lymphatic system going. I'm focusing on the day. There was a beautiful rain this morning on the lake behind me. It's a choice. And, in my faith-led healing practice, I have a variety of clients from all walks of life, from all over the world, not just the United States. I've got Germany, New Zealand, UK, Australia, and everybody has experienced things. Everybody has different lenses that they work out of. I've shared this many times. My mom always said I lived with pink shady glasses. Those pink shady glasses have served me well. She meant it as a derogatory comment, but it served me well because I view life in a very positive way, regardless what kind of muck and mire I'm having to walk through at the time. And that in and of itself enables me to be able to keep going when things get tough. Learning how to roll with the punches is really important too, because if we get stuck in the chaos, it can cause a lot of struggles. So I've got different clients. I've got clients that are very positive minded and just thrive, and they are making leaps and bounds in their healing journey. And then I have those clients that are like a bump on a log, sitting, refusing to embrace the fact that they could be well. They're just every day focusing on what isn't. And there they've sat for 2 years. And it's very heart-wrenching because I know that life can be different if you change your perspective. If I would have sat like a bump on a log 9 years ago, I wouldn't even be here today. Right, Shelley? And Shelley's working with the clients and working with people that are in those positions too. And it's hard to watch because we can lead a horse to water. Sometimes that horse is a very close family member. Yet we can't make them drink. It is their, we can only plant seeds. So, I pray for all of you, our YouTube channels, our community. I pray for you all. And my prayer is that you guys are seeking wisdom, knowledge, direction, and discernment every day in our crazy times, and that you can see the good in life despite the chaos. Because if you continue to focus on the negative things that are going on, I guarantee you the space you live out of is going to reflect that. It's going to be a negative experience, a negative encounter. So the more we can focus on the good, and sometimes, because I know some of you watching are going through some really rough stuff too, and sometimes it's just this itty bitty tiny little thing of gratitude that you can grab hold of in this really tremendous mess that you've been walking out. But you hang on to that little piece. I promise you, it'll keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. You'll see more things. You'll be, the more we seek gratitude, the more it shows. The more it shows itself. And I truly believe, I'm not all about manifesting, because I believe that the more we focus on God, the more we focus on the good, the more good He brings. Yes, the universe is out there, but the universe isn't the one that's doing it. In my world, that's God. So Laura says, it is sunny and beautiful this early fall day. I'm battling. We have Miss Deb joining too. Let me add her. I'm battling with internet connectivity again. That's okay. I was too. I had to shut my laptop down. That's why I was a couple minutes late. It wasn't connecting. Could be sun activity. Could be evil trying to cause issues. Doesn't matter. I am with you all, heart, body, and soul. Amen. Soaking in the sun in my greenhouse jungle. So right now I'm going to say, enemy, leave. Everyone's devices, their bodies, their minds, their spirits, their homes, their land, do not return. You are not welcome here in the name of Jesus Christ. We are in a spiritual battle right now. In order to be able to have faith and not fear, we need to focus on the gratitude, but we do need to be aware that there is spiritual warfare happening. If you can't see that looking at the chaos in our world, you may want to open your eyes and pursue and research a little bit about spiritual warfare, because the enemy is working hard right now to divide. We've seen that for the last many years. The evil one is trying to divide us. He's also trying to keep us debilitated, keep us in fear. When we are in a place of fear, we can't function. We need to be focusing on our faith. Do you believe that if the world were to fall apart tomorrow, that God would take care of you? Do you believe that? I do. I 100% believe that. Okay, my Zoomers are cheering and praising. Yes, Miss Deb's giving her heart. Everybody, Shelly's giving her half a heart since she's holding the phone. Absolutely. We got to trust that. Elijah didn't have any food. He was out in the wilderness, and God sent ravens to bring him food. God will provide for all of our needs. And for those of you on Faith-Led Living, you have heard me preaching this for years and years, in that, yes, we need to be active. In order for knowledge to be power, we need to put our knowledge into action. We need to be doing things to help ourselves. If we are sitting on a bump on a log and just expecting God to bless our socks off, I don't think that's going to happen. I really don't. I believe that we need to be active. We need to be seeking Him. We need to be trusting Him. We need to remove fear and replace it with faith. Focusing on gratitude is one of the best ways to do that you will be able to start seeing the better things in life, not feel so fearful. The other thing is, if you are feeling extreme anxiety, worry, depression, join me in 40 minutes for a breathwork session. You can sign up for that by going to faithledhealing.com/calendar, scroll all the way down, and you will see the group sessions. I do them every Wednesday at 10 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. That's a great way to help calm the body, open the body, activate your immune system, and get rid of some of that chaos that you can't seem to get rid of on your own. But the other thing is to pray. God, give me peace in this chaos. Give me peace in my day-to-day. We neglect to ask for the simple things that we need. So prayer is huge. But I can't say it enough that having the right people surrounding you, I'm sure we've all walked this out from elementary school on up to adulthood to where we are. There's always that negative Ned, telling us that, oh, that idea is dumb. You're never going to do anything. You're never going to amount to anything because you're such a hyperactive child. That hyperactive child now is middle age and still hears those words. I'm never going to amount to anything. We can rewrite all those scripts, and we can walk into a place where we don't have to live out of fear, and we can be surrounded by beautiful people If you don't have those people right there in your community, because oftentimes we don't, or our blinders are on and we're not seeing the good people, maybe because we've been burned too many times. That happens in the churches too. You know, I know a lot of people don't go to church because they've been burned by the people. Well, a church is an emergency room for sinners. Everybody in that building is a sinner. So a lot of times we take things to heart when we need to display a little grace, um, because a lot of times when people are acting out, it's out of fear, it's out of low self-esteem, it's out of wanting to fit in and not knowing how, it's out of being in a really bad place and not having the right people in their corner, and they're just in such a low place that they don't know how to handle themselves. You know, we got to think about that. What is that person going through? You know, I think about that all the time. When there's somebody in the grocery store that's absolutely obnoxious, I just kill them with kindness. And, you know, a lot of times their demeanor shifts. If it doesn't, it doesn't. No harm, no foul. It doesn't hurt me. That's their dysfunction, not mine. I don't own it. I didn't do anything wrong. They're having a bad day. Move along. But I try to encourage, inspire, help. You know, it's what we're called to do. We're called to love our neighbors as ourselves, even if our neighbor is obnoxious and rude. You know, there's moments that we can still love and not own their dysfunction. And I think that that's an important thing to say today, because there's a lot of dysfunction in our world. We see that in a lot of ways without even going into detail. I know you're all getting what I'm putting down. This world is dysfunctional. It is confused. It is upside down. It is broken. What once was good is now bad. What once was bad is now good. It's messed up. Protect yourselves. Protect your children. You know, we have the ability to keep ourselves. Okay, we have the ability of not subjecting ourselves to the wrong stuff. What we read, what we listen to, what we watch, all plays a role in where we are today in our minds as well. So, you know, having the right community surrounding you, but going home and watching crud on TV, you know, you're feeding yourself in one way and draining yourself in the other. So you got to think about these things, because that all plays a role in keeping yourself in a faith area and a gratitude place and a joyful and happy place, rather than a place of fear and anxiety. You know, many people are struggling to feed themselves right now. You know, this world, everything is expensive. You know, just, it's hard. And it's hard with the jobs that are being offered in a lot of cases, and downsizing of companies. You know, churches offer food banks. Churches offer help. I'm not saying go to the church and just seek those things. I'm saying go to a church and become part of the body, but know that there's help for you. There's also help in other places. So if you're in those spaces where your main necessities aren't being met, of course you're going to be in an anxious and worried place, because it's a hard place to be in. We were very fortunate 9 years ago when we had to sell our home, that my larder, my pantry was full, because before I got sick, I was doing what Laura and many of you are doing. I was putting up as much food as I could on my shelves. We were hunting and harvesting the foods that we eat. We were foraging from the land. So my pantry was full. Our woodshed was full, because our family focuses on being prepared, and not just for tomorrow directly, and not just 30 days, but if it would have been reversed, and it would have been my husband that was injured and not, or needing surgery, and not me, and we didn't live the way we do, having 3+ years of firewood available to us, I would have been out there with the chainsaw cutting trees and harvesting our firewood. So when we think ahead and prepare ahead, and we can do that now too. So think about these things, and think about, you know, what you're doing on a day-to-day basis Are you bringing things into your world that give you joy? Are you seeking things to help you in the areas that you're really struggling? If you need food or water or shelter, seek those things and get those things set first. Because if those three things are not met, the rest is trivial at this point, because we have to have our main needs and necessities met. So get those needs met. If you're in that place, seek help. Get involved with the right people. Do things for yourself that is going to better your situation. And, you know, ask for help. When we were in our place, our situation 9 years ago, many people swarmed us and blessed us. It was a very, 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 I'll be right out transparent, uncomfortable feeling, because majority of people do not ask for help. We are helpers. We like to help. But when it comes to receiving, we don't know how to receive. If people are willing to bless you and they're offering things and you're not taking them, you've got some things to work on, because that will also remove your fears and your anxieties and your worries. You know, if you like to help people and you like the feeling you get when you're blessing someone else, why in the world would you rob somebody else of that same feeling when they're trying to give it back to you? So this all plays a role in all of this, because I know that there's people that desired to help us and that did help us during our journey. And yes, it was uncomfortable. It didn't feel right. You know, our pride gets in the way. And it's human nature. It was just an odd feeling. But a friend said to me long ago, and that kept resonating with me during that period, it was just what I shared with you. Why would you steal someone else's thunder? Why would you steal somebody else's joy if they want to help you? So keep that in mind. If you're in a tight spot and someone is offering, allow them to bless you. If it bothers you, when you can return the favor, return the favor. If you don't return it to them, pay it forward. You know, that, yes, exactly. Laura was mouthing the same thing I was at the same time. You know, that's what we are called to do. And if our world worked the way it was supposed to, the way biblically we are called to behave and to act, our world would be such a unique place, because it wouldn't be a give and take. It would be a nurturing care, I think. You know, it would just be this beautiful flow of people helping people. You know, if you look at the indigenous people and the different cultures, you know, if I'm just going to use the Amish because it popped in my head. You know, if somebody's barn burns down, everybody stops what they're doing and they all huddle and they go to the person's place that burned down and they rebuild it. And within 3 days, a week, they've got a brand new barn put in place and they all work together. You know, so often in our world today, you don't even know your neighbor. And it is kind of sad. You know, there was a time where if you didn't have enough sugar, you'd go to the neighbor and you'd get some sugar. And then when she needed it, you'd swap, or you'd share eggs or whatever. You know, that's really where we need to go back to, is back to our roots. Being able to help one another, being able to nurture one another. But that's not the world we live in right now, because the world is wanting us divided. It's wanting us sick. It's wanting us disheveled, and it's wanting us confused. Look at the confusion in our world today. When we really look at that and we see that, we need to realize and analyze. Are we getting mixed up in that mess? And if we are, we need to pull ourselves out of that and focus on bringing goodness into our lives. Growing, canning our own food, simply just pausing and praying and being in beautiful places. You know, if I'm stuck in the city for whatever reason, when I'm in the city, I will go and search and find a little tranquil park somewhere just to escape the noise, just to escape the tall buildings. I hate the city. I will be the first person to tell you that. I hate the city. I hate shopping. I like the woods. I like the wilderness. I like being nurtured in God's country. I ride my motorcycle in beautiful places because I like being enveloped by the surroundings, taking in the smells, you know, sitting down with your loved ones, playing a game, reading a book, going for a walk. Movement. Movement is a great form of de-stressing. So Shelly says, yesterday I was off work as I was donating blood during the time I was to work. I had things I scheduled to get the car ready for the winter, went to get oil change, and for some reason it was not on his schedule. I then rearranged my day and got that plus my winter tires on. This helped me get more done in the day than I had planned. So I'm glad you brought that up, because this is something also that I talk about a lot. You know, we try to plan everything, and I think we even talked about this a little bit last week or the week before. It all kind of blends. But, you know, we try to dictate everything in our lives. And last week we talked about being present, which is really important, because in the world that we're in right now, they want us disheveled, they want us confused, they want us engrossed in our machines, needing to stay connected on social media, needing to call the next person, needing to know where Mary Jo is and where Jim Bob is, and not really being present. How often does your husband or your children talk to you and you're like, yeah, and then they walk away and you're like, what did he just say? You know, that's bad. We need to be present. And in addition to being present, we also need to pay attention to how long our to-do list is and what we think we have to get done, because the world dictates we need to be moving and active, and if not, we're lazy and useless, and you know, we need to be moving all day long and engrossed in something. That's a lie. I'm gonna be the first to tell you that's a lie. My to-do lists are long, very long, and I keep adding to them. But you know what? I don't expect myself to get it done in one day, and I don't even formulate my day based on my own schedule. I take it to Him. When I'm praying in the morning, I demand the enemy to leave. First and foremost, get out of my house, my family, my body, my family's body, our minds. Leave. And then I ask God to fill me up. And then I ask for wisdom, knowledge, direction, and discernment. And then I ask Him to dictate my day. Why? Because just like Shelly, He dictated her day. She had it all well and mapped out, and that was good, because it is good to plan. Don't get me wrong. It's good to plan. It's good to dream. But it's important to put it in His hands for the timing and if it's right for us. But God will orchestrate everything better than we could ever imagine. So there, Shelly got everything done that she really wanted to get done all in the same day, and God orchestrated it really nicely. So we try to control everything. We try to control everything. And that's also why you have fear and anxiety and worry, because you're trying to control things that we have, for starters, no business controlling. You can't control anybody else, so quit it. And there's no way we can control this world. We can try to make efforts. Many of us have been given superpowers to be a part of this, making America great again, shall I say. You know, our gifts and our talents allow us to contribute, but there is not one person alone that can change the trajectory of this world except God. Only God can change this in a single snap of His finger or a breath. But we all have the power to interconnect and work together and make changes. But, you know, you're trying, so many times people want to be able to change things and they can't. So then they just get so distraught. So, you know, lighten up and let God. Realize what you can control and realize what you can't control. And if you can't control it, let it go. Put it at His feet. That's something else I do every morning. If there's stuff that I can't control or things that I would, you know, deeply desire, you know, I'm going to share this. I deeply desire a connection with my daughter. I don't have that right now. I can't change that right now, but I can pray for it. So I put her and my grandbabies at His feet every day, every morning, every night. and I ask him to protect them, to nurture them, to find a way to bring them to him, because if they're connected with him, my chances are so much greater. So, you know, we all have stories. We all have things that are causing us struggles. The world is a big issue, but you know what? I know what's happening, but I do not let it dictate my life, not a minute of it. I have better things I want to do with my time. I want to be present with my family. I want to be able to enjoy my life. I have dreams and plans, and regardless where the world goes, I'm still going to focus on where I would like to head and try to make those things happen. So Shelley says, I watched a video where the one kid on the bus without a cell phone saved everyone as he was able to notice the bus driver was having a medical emergency. Yep, because he was the only one present. Everybody else was so engrossed on their machines. So, you know, and it is very true. Pay attention to how much time you spend on your machines. And if you feel off, disheveled, really struggling, I encourage you to do an electronics detox. You can believe me or not, but these things are the devil. And I've got 4 pieces of equipment right here. And let me tell you, I know that they are affecting me. I feel it, but this is my means of communicating with me, or with you. I'm a little confused. But this is my means of communicating with you. But when I'm done here and I'm done with my breath work for the day, I walk away from all of these electronics and detox myself. It's just so extremely important to detoxify ourselves from these machines, because these can and do cause extreme health issues and cause anxiety and overwhelm just from being around them. And then when you're engrossed in them and all you're doing is screen time and you're not being present with those around you, you know, sometimes people do that because they're trying to get away from situations that they're experiencing. Other times it's because they're dumbing down. You know, they feel that that's their way of just escaping the world and their feelings. But you know what? Get outside, sit, and just take it in. Go for a walk. Those things will be so much healthier for you than being stuck in front of a machine. So YouTubers, it is that time. I am going to jump off of the YouTube. Thank you guys for joining. You can join me every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I will be on YouTube for a half an hour. We will be sharing more and more on the YouTube channels as time goes by. We are trying to embrace right now our greatest dream of heading to Alaska. So lots is going on right now, but I encourage you to come and join my community. faithledhealing.com/community or faithledliving.com/community. Either will get you to the same place. There is room for everybody. You are all welcome. You will all fit in. Trust me, there is no judgment in our community. It is just an amazing place of everybody locking arms and just supporting each other through life. And I think we all need that. And it is very valuable to be surrounded by the right people in the world that we live in right now. So anyway, I love you all on YouTube. I love my Zoomers too, but I'll be right with you. So YouTube, have a good rest of your day. I hope to see you in my community, and I'm going to continue on my Zoom with my special access group. So God bless.